Hey everyone. So this is Catfish, um, Deonn and Lanise. Sweet Jesus, this was. I knew it was gonna be a freaking mess. I knew it was based off of the preview we saw last week. I knew it was gonna be a fucking mess. Just sweet lord. Anyway, so let's get into the shit. So Deonn, who is 28 and lives in Houston, emails Nev and Kamie. He has two kids. And 2 years prior to emailing them, he started talking to Lanise off Instagram at first. Then they went to texting and talking on the phone. And he started liking her because she was very entrepreneurial. And he liked that, especially because she would inspire him to sort of do side gigs and get extra income other than him being a security guard. And so obviously things get weird when he tried to, meet up with her in real life. And, when he tried to meet her one time, which is when she supposedly lived in Houston with him, or in the Houston area, she ghosted him, and he finally got like a text hours later saying she was hung up at work, and all that stuff. And apparently this happens a lot where or happened a lot where she would say, okay, we'll meet up in real life, and then when he would try to, like, when he would get close to where she was, whether it was her house or I guess anywhere else they agreed upon to meet at, she would ghost him. And so because of that, he started to stop talking, like periodically would stop talking to her for weeks at a time, and somehow she would always manage to wiggle her way back into his life. So she ends up moving to Dallas recently, like in the recent past, like in the last, I guess, several weeks or months. She moved to Dallas, and now she's all of a sudden wanting to meet up, but he's apprehensive about it because of the fact that she's done this whole thing of saying she'll meet up, and when he gets to where she is, she ghosts him, and for the rest of the day, or for hours, and saying, before she says, I'm sorry, shit came up. So they get him in the Zoom call, and he explains further that the first time that he tried to meet up with her while she was still living in Houston, she was texting with him all the way up to the point when he actually got to her place, because she actually had sent him her address. And so when he finally got there, it was all of a sudden fucking crickets. So, and like I said, she would apparently do the same thing over and over and over again. So, that made him get sick of it and stop talking to her periodically and stuff. So they asked him to show them, everything that he has, picture-wise and text-wise, as per usual, as this goes. And they see that they have 4 mutual people they follow on Instagram, or that follow them on Instagram or something like that. So he gets off, sends all his information on Lanise to them, and Kamie's like, well, I think it's an X. Though, Neve doesn't think so, and we'll hear about that soon. They start their investigation with an image search, and they don't find anything with the pictures. They go to Instagram, find a tag photo, but it's not of Lanise. It's of a friend of hers named Shay. Um, so Neve's initial thought is that based off of this picture that was tagged, either Lanise took the picture, was there in the vicinity, but Cam was like, look, I think this Shay person is behind this Instagram. So what they then do is run Lanise's phone number and find it's a text app. So Neve then gets a call from Shay because they sent a Shay an Instagram message earlier. And she says Lanise is a good friend of hers from high school, and she says that Lanise is real, and that Lanise actually wasn't there when she took the picture, or boomerang or whatever. So it's kind of like a picture slash video. And so they ask Shay, if Lanise is dating anyone, but she claims she's not comfortable giving out that info, but is willing to confirm whether the number that Deonn has for Lanise is actually the number that Shay has for her, and she says it is. And then, so she gets off, they run the address that they have for her, and it comes up with this name called Cindy, with the spelling SYNDI associated with it. And Cam remembers that there's this account that follows Deonn on Instagram spelled similarly. It's called Sin City, and Sin is spelled SYN. And so they look at the profile of this Sin girl, and she claims that she's an entrepreneur just like Lanise. So they send that message to the profile. They get a message request on Instagram just then asking if they are doing an episode on her. So they see that it's the same girl in the photos that Deonn is associating with the name Lanise. So they get her on video chat through Instagram, and we find out her name is Lecheon. Lecheon. I think she said Lecheon. And she says this girl Sin reached out to her. So they ask if she knows Deonn. She says no. They show her the pictures of her being used, and she explains that she's never had her pictures taken before, like this. And after getting off the call, Kamie finds out that Sin follows Lecheon, and Lecheon follows her. So that's what I call him, Kev. Neve thinks that there's a chance Deonn's philandering ways has come back to haunt him. Okay. So this kind of threw me for a loop, this next part, because it just all of a sudden goes to the next day without them saying, because usually they have Neve or Kamie, or usually Neve, say, you know what, let's come back tomorrow and see if we hear anything back from anyone else or something. And so it threw me for a loop when they all of a sudden are like the next day. Anyway, so the next day they get Deonn back in a Zoom call, tell him everything they found, and so they send Deonn, they have Deonn send a text to Lanise to video chat. She replies back, she will, and she asks if he's single now. So he replies yes, sends a Zoom link, and while they're, waiting for her to come in or say yes, I will do it, and then come in, Kamie's like, were you single when you started talking to Lanise? And he says he wasn't, all the while claiming, she wasn't really my girlfriend, and all this bullshit, essentially. So he says his ex-girlfriend's name is, get this, Shanice. Like, so Kim was like, you do realize that Shanice and Lanise sound extremely similar. Like, the only letter that's changed is an S to an L. So, like, are you seriously not connecting the dots here? And he's like, well, everyone calls her Tinky. I'm like, that's bullshit. Like, you know her real name is fucking Shanice. You know her real name is fucking Shanice. Stop fucking playing and get with the damn program. You know that her ass is named fucking Shanice. That's her government name. I don't care if her fucking nickname is Tinky or Winky or Tinkerbell. Her real name is fucking Shanice, and you know this shit. So stop fucking playing and get with the fucking program, like I said. So, Kamie, he reveals last time he talked to Tinky was the day before. I assumed before he even got on the Zoom call with Nev and Kamie. So Kamie was like, well, when's the last time you hooked up with Tinky? And he's about to answer when Shanice comes in the Zoom call. And she reveals, I'm actually his fiance. Like, just get this dude off my fucking screen. Get this motherfucker off my damn screen. I'm tired of him. And I was so over him by the update. Because I was like, look, like, because he's like, okay. And it's like, Kim was like, essentially me. This is like, she's like, she's baffled that he never fucking mentioned her this entire time. And he's like, well, look, if we knew about this, if we knew about this fiance of yours, because he didn't even deny that she was his fiance. He kept stuttering when he got asked the fucking question, so you know his ass was fucking lying. So it's like, me was like, well, if we knew that you had this girlfriend and slash fiance, we probably would have not helped your ass. We probably, like, and he's just like, you probably wouldn't have, because we're here trying to help people who are single and thinking that they're talking to someone exclusively and wanting to meet this person, but the person they're trying to talk to doesn't want to video chat or meet up in real life. So when here your ass is not only lying to us, but lying to this fiance of yours and shit. It's like, I mean, so, like, 3 other people besides her, so four women in total, run this fake Instagram page. Shay's one of them. And Neve, asks the real question of, well, if Lisa was actually real, what the fuck would you have done if you actually wanted to meet up in real life? And he starts stuttering again and saying, I don't know. He's saying, I don't know. Yes, you do know. You know your ass would have hopped up in that fucking apartment building or house or wherever the fuck she was and started doing stuff with her, whether it was like kissing, X-rated, whatever. You know you would have done whatever you wanted to do with her, because you're not shit. You ain't shit. Like, you, sorry. I mean, I'm sorry for the excessive cursing, but this dude really annoys me, because it's like, come on, you know exactly what you would have done, and you stop beating around the bush, stop being coy, stop acting like you don't know what you would have done. You know exactly what you would have done, and come out, say it with your fucking chest. Just say it, because this is why dudes are always called ain't shit, because of shit like this. And just shut up, please. Like, and then he has the freaking audacity to walk off and get out this freaking Zoom call because he looks like he looks stupid. He looks stupid. And he's been dogging this girl out for 3 years, because they've been together for 3 years, and he's been dogging her out. like blatantly in front of her for 3 years, and the moment he gets his own the taste of his own medicine, he can't handle it. It's exactly what men do. Like a lot of men tend to do, is they tend to not be able to take what they dish out to women, and it's just like, come on, really, I cannot with him. And so when he leaves, they talk to her for a few minutes, and he comes back and is like, "Well, I don't know if I can forgive you," and all this crap. And then so we get the update saying that they broke up, but they got back together 3 weeks later, and it's just like, I don't believe he was gonna change. I don't believe it. Like he was doing this crap for 3 years with this one woman. And you're telling me that he's saying that he's not gonna be doing this ain't shit stuff? Like, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Like, this dude is 28 with 2 kids, and he's almost 30. He's almost 30, and he's still doing this F boy stuff while pushing 30. Like, are you kidding me? Just get him like just I cannot. Anyways, so so next week looks just as bad, if not worse, than tonight or last night's episode. um this guy named Zarek goes on a dating app, um and starts talking to this 31-year-old guy named Roger. And apparently looks like sometime during their investigation, someone they reach out to says Roger's married to a woman. So, or the person, the real person, I guess, possibly behind in the actual pictures, um, is married to a woman. And we'll see what happens next week, because it looks just as bad and just as messy as tonight's or last night's episode. So anyway, so now that I got kind of my rant over with last night's episode, mm, I'm I figured, it was uh, an ex that was dealing with or catfishing Deonn. I just thought it was the woman he had kids with. So I was partially right, just not fully right. So anyway, for next week, I think it's someone that he knows, but possibly a woman this time, because what was it? Last week with that, I think it was last week, that gay couple um where the guy was talking to another guy while he had a whole ass fiance, um and it was actually a fiance, he was catfishing him. I think it's kind of the same situation, but it's not actually an ex of Zark's. It's actually like a female friend of his, because maybe he pretended to be straight, and the person he was telling that he was gay or straight to found out that he's actually gay and didn't take that well, perhaps. I don't know. Um, I'm kind of getting the same vibes as that last week's episode, so that's kind of what I'm thinking, maybe. I mean, I can't tell, so um, we'll see what happens next week. Till then, bye.